Well, hello and welcome to Talking Leeds. This evening, good afternoon, oh God, good morning. And if you're watching live, you can see on your screen the man at the moment. It's Mr. Bearded Peacock, George. But good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, George.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, whatever the time is, Aaron. Hello to everybody watching, and hello to you, Aaron. And of course, it's a happy Halloween from me and trick or treat. Anybody trick or treating tonight? I've got my mask on. Aaron, are you trick or treating tonight a bit later on?
No, but I've got my sweets here ready to go for the kids.
You will have some trick-or-treaters to the door.
We could, we'll come through the door, but you never know. You never know.
No.
But yes, look, the mask's gone. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, Carl, as well. It is Halloween. Is it going to be a trick or treat for Leeds United this week? It got off to a bit of a disaster, didn't it, on Saturday afternoon, George? Bristol City 0, Leeds United 0. You were furious on our WhatsApp group, were you? Furious, sack fuck. The end is nigh. There's playoffs. Somebody said to me, book your hotel and train tickets for playoffs.
Well, I think even Lou was like a couple of days later. I would think I was talking about promotion or something, or I think it was the bad decision in the Premier League, and he was like, "Well, we're not going up anyway, so we don't need to talk about it." And I think there's a few little disappointing things gone on really between now and that game and now really. But it's Thursday now. We're getting ready for another week. We're optimistic as you are as football fans. You know, that game is gone. We look forward to Plymouth at home. And I've just said to you there, and I will be absolutely raging if we don't win this game on Saturday. At home against Plymouth, no disrespect to Plymouth, of course, but these are the games you need to be absolutely winning, and winning well, not just scraping through it. You need to win well. And I think we do need a little bit of a show from Leeds on Saturday to make up for that poor result on Saturday. I mean, from your point of view, Aaron, I know you didn't see the game, did you really, on Saturday? But what did you make of the result?
They are the draws. As I said this to Jerry, and if you want to listen back to my thoughts on this, you can just search on all your podcast providers and get that little link in there.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, we're unbeaten in 7, George. You can't win every game. Bristol City, they've been going through a difficult time with their manager, which we all know about. And they are the draw specialists. I think teams will go there and find it really difficult. From what I saw and from what I discussed with Jerry, it just seems to be that Bristol City part of the bus for the majority of that game. And we found it extremely, extremely difficult to break them down. And I think we could probably still be playing football now against them and we still wouldn't score. You get that in the Championship. It's a point on the road. We'll beat them at Ellen Road comfortably. But I do think it's just one of those, George. I'm not going to lose sleep over it because QPR drew with Burnley at the weekend as well. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's a point. It's better than nothing.
Well, that's it. At the end of the day, I suppose it is a point. It's better than nothing. But I saw the game, Aaron, and we were poor. Bristol did park the bus. Good evening to Jimbo, of course, as well. But he missed 80 minutes of the game. But they parked the bus. They did. They were awful, actually. Their only threat came from a set pieces, came from corner kicks and free kicks, which they didn't have that many of anyway. They didn't really give much. I think the only little bit of threat was from the big bloke up front who came on in the second half, Armstrong, I think. It's Sinclair Armstrong, who did cause one or two small issues. But other than that, it was really poor from Leeds, actually, and Byram especially. I don't know how on earth, a lot of people are a bit confused and puzzled as well, how he managed to get into the team of the week, which was baffling, really, because I thought he was awful, actually. I mean, he had a lot of the ball. All our attacks seemed to go down the left-hand side, Aaron, for some reason, and he had a lot of ball, but he just didn't do anything with it in the attacking third. We're just out of ideas, lethargic. I thought it was really, really poor. And also speaks, Aaron, to the mentality for me of the squad, which where you say, oh, yeah, it's a point away from home. Ooh, give the spiel about it being a tricky place to go. No, we need to be beating those sort of teams if we're going for promotion.
I agree. You are absolutely right, George. We should be beating those teams. But in the grand scheme of things, let's flip it round here. If you look at this game week, Burnley should be beating QPR.
Yeah, you're right. And
yes, Sunderland won as well, but Sunderland will not maintain this. They will not be up there with it, like which Ipswich were last year. Ultimately, what gets me is, and this is what really bugs me, because I've been reading a lot of comments on Twitter and things about Leeds United this week, and that a lot of people are still calling for the manager to leave. We're 7 games unbeaten, George. It was a freak result against Burnley due to a slip. Let's be perfectly honest. When you look at, and we've played what, 7 of the top 8 teams in the last couple of games, or whatever the stat is. I don't know off the top of my head, but we've had some difficult run of games. We're in the mix. We don't need to be panicking, do we? We don't need to be calling for the manager's head.
No. I mean, I've retracted on that really, and like I said at the end of last week, I do like Mr. Farke, and many congratulations and happy returns to him.
Happy birthday, yes.
It was his birthday yesterday, wasn't it? So I hope he had a nice day. And I like him. And yeah, we don't need to be saying let's go. And he needs to go. I do it just because it's like a reaction to a frustration and a defeat. But like Carl says, I agree with this. Byram on the left, he did. And we saw a great example on Saturday. You get to him in and around the final third. He just stops and plays back. He doesn't know how to overlap and how to actually attack a team. That's where we miss Firpo. And we will miss Bogle on Saturday as well. But I'm sure Mr. Byram will be on that side, unfortunately, again.
But ultimately, that's where Bogle, Firpo, they're not going to play 46 games this year. They're not going to do it. The majority it's very rare that any championship player plays the full slog. I know we had a couple last year who did it. I think, was it Archie Gray who played every game?
I think Ampadu played enough every.
Yeah,
I think he did play every game actually.
Yeah, I think you do get the rare exceptions, but again, he's not going to do that 2 years on the bounce, and he clearly isn't doing it. Being injured at the moment. But ultimately, we've got a big squad. Sam Byram, is he better than Bogle or Firpo? No, his job is just to be the backup player. And when you're 2-1 up, 2-0 up, or whenever in a game, and it's 80 minutes gone, he comes on and does the job just to do the job. That's all he needs to do.
Well, yeah, it does. So why play him from the start on Saturday? You've got Isaac Schmidt sitting on the bench. And it'll be the same thing on Saturday, Aaron. He'll play Byram on the right and Firpo will come back in on the left.
It's like Jimbo said, he wants to see what this Schmidt's like.
Yeah,
I think we all do.
Yeah,
it's the same though as well with Charlie Crew, George. And I've said this for many, many years, many episodes now. I've been calling for Charlie Crew to have a go as well. And he but I think you've got to trust in what Farke's doing here, though, George. We can't slate the guy for saying he's not good enough, and we should. There's no disrespect to Bristol City. We should be beating them, of course we should. But I think they were so stubborn in their defence on Saturday. It was just ultimately really hard to break down. And we do. I think that's where Leeds United struggle against those teams who do park the bus, and I do think Plymouth will park the bus on Saturday when we play them. I think it'll be exactly the same.
Yeah, Plymouth will park the bus down, but we have something at Ellen Road where we just need to find the extra edge. And as soon as we get a goal against these teams like Plymouth at home, any game at home in this division, I have virtually no worries about, because I know that we're okay at home and we will beat teams like Plymouth. We just seem to find that extra little bit, and as soon as we get our noses in front, that's nearly game over at Ellen Road. Now, I disagree with you, Aaron, about Saturday. Bristol didn't really as much as they parked the bus, Leeds United had no reply, absolutely no ideas to get in behind Bristol. It was all like, pass it to Byram, then pass it back, infield, and then pass it back. And then it was just, there was no cutting edge to the passing. There was no real penetration from Leeds in that game. And it was really, really disappointing. In this game, Arron, we will win. We will beat Plymouth, surely. And even if they park the bus, we will find a way around it eventually.
They played well against us in the cup last year, if you remember, and in the league, I think, as well at Ellen Road. They took us to a replay, didn't they, in the FA Cup last year, if you remember? They
did, but Arron, they've not won at Leeds since 1962, and that's the only time they've ever won at Leeds. So remember, it was against the second string. We should have won that game at Ellen Road in the FA Cup. We did win Ellen Road in. It was actually around this time last year, sort of early mid-November. So a couple of weeks shy of what it is on Saturday being the second. So yeah, they were in the game, but it was only because we didn't kill them, kill them off. If we have the shooting boots on, I'm a little bit. The injuries are piling up again. Dan James is injured. I mean, the other few from his presser today, Gelhardt and Bamford, who aren't anything anywhere near the squad. So that doesn't matter. But
you're forgetting one important thing, though, George. Mr. Wobber is back in full team training. Come on now. There you go.
But he's not. He said he's not going to rush him back or something like that.
He can play left back, George.
Of course, he can play left, but he's not going to be left back for. Well, maybe we don't have to see Byron, but then again, I don't want to see because Rober won't be anywhere near like what Firpo is or Schmitz. So, the injuries are piling up, Aaron, for Saturday as well, and it looks like Manor Solomon is going to have to play again. And by the way, anybody who watched it would agree as well. He looked absolutely shocked on Saturday of confidence and fitness. He just did not look at it at all. So that's a little bit of a worry. But at the same time, Ellen Road, like I said, it just has a little bit of magic about it that these teams that come can't seem to break generally. So I think we'll have a win on Saturday, but it is a little bit concerning.
Okay. Carl says, I'm not one to go back as we need to move forward, but watching Saturday, I was thinking that I would take Alosi back as backup for Firpo in games where we will have the majority of the possession. Do you agree with Carl there, George?
Yeah, I mean, we all like Alosi, didn't we? He was a different kind of player, wasn't he, to Firpo? But I think Bielsa did sort of even make him into like a up and down, fullback, didn't he? But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think, I don't know, Alosi was good because he knew he could penetrate the opposition at any given moment, couldn't he, with a nice cross-in or something like this. Well, Byram just did not seem to want to gamble in any way. It was all about the safe option, and that generally was passing it back. And I just, Bogle was the most attacking player on the pitch. I don't know, Carl or Jimbo or, whoever else in the comments agrees with that. Bogle was definitely the most threatening player we had in his runs forward, and I don't think it'll be too much of a miss on Saturday because of the opposition. Again, no disrespect to him or to them, but I think, I just would like to see. I think Firpo is more of a miss than Bogle is, and we haven't missed Bogle yet, but I do believe that this will be the case. Firpo, it was a massive miss on Saturday. And when did you think we were going to say that?
But what about this? What Carl said, he's come back and said he's free, good character, can score, but he is, but not as a regular starter. I don't know. We've already jumped into the free transfer business, haven't we? We've got somebody in the door, Joshua Duda. It rhymes that, doesn't it? Gulivogi Duda. Is through the door as well. So I don't know. It's an interesting one, isn't it, George? And Kat says look good against Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, Carl, I don't think we won't get any more players in through the door on a free agent. I mean, Alosi will go wherever he will. But yeah, I mean, Bogle, he was our best attacking option, I felt, on Saturday. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I mean, again, I'd love to see Schmidt, but he won't play. I mean, I would love to see at some point Firpo and Schmidt, or Firpo or Bogle and Schmidt, or whatever. Because, like you said, not everybody's going to ever play 46 games. It's the first one Bogle has missed, and it was self-inflicted, but as was Firpo's. So you're going to get suspensions and injuries as the season goes on. So
Okay, right.
And also, just as a point, Aaron, Jimbo is right. They didn't have Wayne Rooney in charge, and Wayne Rooney seems to just hit the red button, doesn't he, and self-destruct on every single team that he's managed. So, and also, they did come back from 3-0 down, didn't they, last Saturday against Preston?
Yeah.
But they, when he came to Arron Road, I think it was 1st of January, wasn't it? It was New Year's Day with Birmingham. They absolutely destroyed by Leeds United that day, and he got the sack, I think, the next day. So we'll take a repeat of that. We'll take a repeat of that. And Jimbo did say as well earlier on, he's disappointed that Erik ten Hag got this marching orders, and I have to agree with him. He was doing a really good job, and it's such a shame he was doing the boot, really.
I agree. I just wanted to hold on to that one, though, because we've got a new feature on Talking Leeds that brings us into this new link. It's called Tanaka Time. We've even got a video for it, and we're going to be discussing what's really caught our eye this week. So you ready for this video, George? Here we go. Oh, look at that. Tanaka Time. So, George, this week has really caught your eye in the world of Leeds United or anywhere else in the world? What's really caught your eye? That's our little new feature for us.
Well, if we're talking about why it's a thing, and if I knew I was, I knew it was going to be a thing, I would do a bit of research on this.
You're going to have to do a research next week, George.
But that's what I mean. So going forward, we'll bring it into Leeds United. But as I can't think of anything else. It will have to be football related. It has to be the Ballon d'Or, Aaron. I don't know if you've caught it. The pettiness and almost childish nature of Real Madrid, and in particular Vinicius Junior, who didn't get his wish and he wasn't given the Ballon d'Or, and he spat his dummy out the pram, and and he didn't attend Paris. Now, I don't know whether it was because he was looking at his air miles, maybe it was pollution, maybe he thought, oh no, carbon footprint, let's keep it down. I'm sure it wasn't that. He didn't enjoy the decision, so that's why he didn't attend it. And I just think it's really silly and petty, because he wasn't a God-given right that he was going to get that award, and he felt that it was for some reason. So that's caught my eye this week, Aaron. Like I said, next week, I will look at it into a little bit more detail and look at, bring it back to Leeds United base. So, yeah.
Well, I will give you a Leeds United kind of Tanaka time for me. What's really caught my eye is the Adidas deal for Leeds United.
Yes,
we don't know how long it's been extended for, but it's really caught my eye because they've been uprated now of Leeds United into the Category A clubs, which allows Leeds to have an input in the design of their kits, which I think is quite nice. I think it's quite good. So it's a multi-million pound deal for Leeds. So I think it's a great thing for Leeds United going forward, because I think Adidas have produced some great kits. I think you're wearing one of them there, George.
Yes,
nice kind of peacocky one as well. And the yellow jersey to this season is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. And the smiley face one, and hope that they continue, which they are going to do now, but we just don't know how long, because it didn't really say in the press release how long it was extended for, but it seems to be extended.
No, this is good, because obviously the Adidas shirts are really good quality, aren't they, as well? And I think it is off the back of that smiley.
Apparently, though, as well, sorry to interrupt, Josh, but apparently there was two other kind of kit manufacturers. I don't know if you've heard this. Under Armour were supposedly snooping, as were Nike. They were ready for a little bit more dose of Leeds United. So big companies there, George, who want to be part of the Leeds United project and be, identified with the club and things. I don't know. I think it's a great deal, and it's just a great thing for the club, because I think Adidas are one of the biggest brands in sporting world.
Yeah, well, they are. It's massive. And when I was excited I mean, we've had them for what? This is the fifth. Is this the fifth? I think it's the fifth season, isn't it now? So we've had them for quite a little while. I was excited when we brought them in. It was when we got promoted, wasn't it? And the Kappa deal ended, and we brought in Adidas. And the shirts are great. The shirts are, and this is nice that we've been brought into the elite.
The elite club, that's it. Yeah.
They're doing this Spez, what is it, Spez FC and stuff like this. You get all the original Adidas stuff as well with Leeds United on it and everything like that. And these are bespoke kits. These from last season, all three of them, or at least the away and the third kit, are bespoke kits, aren't they? It was done in collaboration with a Leeds-based clothing brand, wasn't it? Acid FC. So they joined together with Adidas and looked at the kits, and that's great to see that we're going to get a little bit more bespoke kits rather than just the Adidas templates, which I know what I would actually like to see. I know I do have one of the last season's goalkeeper kits, but what I would like to see is a little bit more thought gone into the goalkeeper kits instead of just the templates, really. I think I would. Are
you a fan of a goalkeeper shirt, Josh?
You know what? Yeah.
I've never really bought one.
You know, I am. And I'll tell you the reason why predominantly is because I like the long sleeve shirts. I wish that they made the outfield kits in long sleeved. I really do. But maybe now we're in the elite, because I know they do, like, obviously I shouldn't mention it, but I've already have. But Man United and teams like this, I think the more elite teams, they have long sleeve kits. So I would hope that maybe with this news, next season, maybe we're in the group of clubs that get long sleeve. I'm a real fan of long sleeve shirts, Aaron. Long sleeve football shirts, and that's the reason why I've got the goalkeeper kit, because for some reason they do them in long sleeve, but not the outfield kits. I mean, that yellow one, I think I said it at the time, I would love that in a long sleeve shirt because it would look great.
For me, the yellow one is just an absolute classic, and I think I was reading, obviously, on the Athletic, this whole Adidas deal, 15,000 shirts sold in 24 hours. It's the biggest selling jersey, and this is the thing though, for Adidas, this is a real money spinner. Yes, they're sponsoring Leeds, but do you know what? It's a real money spinner for them, and they can see that they can really tap into the rest of the kind of the classic jerseys. It would be nice to get, obviously you've got a blue shirt on there, Josh, but the blue stripes back in the noughties and things like that. It'd be nice to get some real quality colours back into the system. Oh yeah,
of course, Darren. Yeah, it's all about culture, history, tradition of the club, and I think this is what I mean.
Now with them into this kind of elite kind of clubs, you would hope that they do this. And I shouldn't be comparing this to Manchester United, but when you look at them, they do exactly the same. They get a real input into them over the Pennines. But yeah, I think it's great. It's great business, and for us as well.
Oh, it is. It's great. It's like you said, it's brought Leeds United down into a more wider range of people, even with the Adidas, because everybody knows about Adidas, don't they? So it's like, wow, they've got Adidas. It's a massive deal. I mean, you mentioned Under Armour and Nike as well. They are big multi-million pound companies as well. And a part of me, although I do love these Adidas kits, and it's great news about that, I really like the Nike, as you will as well, the old school Nike, because that is just nostalgia for both me and yourself. Yeah, for both me and yourself, is probably the one that we remember growing up as teenagers and younger. So it's I would have personally as well liked to have seen a time where Nike were back in, but Adidas are not complaining. I love this kit that I'm wearing. I think it's absolutely fabulous. The ones they've done for us this season, the yellow one, fantastic. The third one as well looks quite interesting for me as well. So, but yeah, like you said, going back to tradition, nice colours, the Leeds United colours, and everything like that. We've got more of the handle on what we're going to get. So exciting.
That's good. And then obviously for Tanaka Time, we want to jump into the comments, and this is your opportunity. If you want to say what's got your eye this week, you can do. And I'm just going to jump into the one which we saw about Jimbo. Mr. Ten Hag has left Manchester United. And we just said, you said it before, George, he was doing such a fantastic job.
He was. He really was.
And I'm absolutely gutted for him. No, it's not pink gin. It's just some cordial, summer fruits cordial from Asda, if you're interested. But yes, he's caught Jimbo's eye this week on Tanaka Time. Ten Hag being sacked. Who's coming in, George, for them? Do we know? Southgate?
It's
the Sporting Lisbon guy.
It's Sporting Lisbon man.
I'm sure he will do just. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be sacked by Christmas because he'll take them into the relegation zone, hopefully. And Gareth Southgate will no doubt be there. But what a shame that Eric Ten Hag's been gone. Fair play to Somerville as well, by the way.
Another thing, if you're talking football terms, that's caught his eye on Tanaka Time. Crescenzo, Somerville, of course, getting a goal in their win over Man United. Yeah, great because he got his first goal as well. It was an easy one for him to do, but they all count. And I saw Wayne's talking about shirts, isn't he? He had the sky blue long sleeve Strongbow shirt, and this was a really nice one, if I remember. It was not the dark blue one you're talking about, Wayne. The dark blue one with the yellow trim. I mean, that was one of my all-time favourites. If anybody sees it, let me know if they can see it in a long sleeve version, because I would absolutely love that shirt. I absolutely love it. It's just one that I would really, really like. But what is everybody's shirt collection? We were talking about shirts. What is everybody's Leeds United shirt collection like? I mean.
I've got hundreds. I've got tens of them, George. Here we go. Another Tanaka Time comment says Carl, which is great. Tanaka Time works, George.
Yeah,
interesting to hear Calvin still thinking of Leeds and Gray as a potential loan opportunity.
Yeah, well, again, I wouldn't put too much weight behind these kind of tabloidy online outlets. I think Calvin Phillips, it was a load of rubbish that I think McKenna, their manager, said it's a load of rubbish. There was talk that they were wanting to send him back to Man City. I don't know. I've seen the Gray rumour as well, but I think Archie Gray seems to be coming on occasionally, doesn't he, for Spurs? The odd 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Did he? He started the game.
Yeah,
see, there you go. And that was against City. I didn't see the game or the lineups, but I imagine it's Man City as well, isn't it? So Man City, whatever team they put out, is going to be decent. So he's a good player at that level. He's fitted in nicely, and I don't understand the sort of comments where it's come from, where he wants to come or he's going to be available, really. But yeah. There you go, Carl. But it's good to see him getting involved with your new segment, Aaron. And I will do a little bit more, because I want it to be Leeds United based, really.
Well, you have to know. With Tanaka Time, it doesn't have to be. It could be anything.
But we are talking primarily about Leeds, so
I have to close Tanaka Time, so I have to play the video again, And
perhaps, Aaron, one day we actually might be able to get Mr. Tanaka on himself to give what he has thought of Tanaka Time. Maybe he can give what he's done in the day, what he had for breakfast, and this sort of thing.
Yeah, if you want to do that, yeah. We'll do that again next week. More Tanaka Time next week. George will do his homework, as should you guys in the comments. Keep your eye out. What catches your eye throughout the week? It could be anything, and we'll discuss it as well. Evening, Big Marley is looking forward to seeing Josh getting some minutes.
Good morning, Marley. How are you, Marley?
Yes. But don't worry, we've got another brand new feature coming up as well in the next 10 minutes. It's a Leeds United Trivia Challenge, where you're a proper fan if you only get 5 out of 5. So get people involved in that. So, George, in the world of Leeds United, we've also got Max Wober, who's back in first team training. Is he going to play again this season, George?
Yes, I think he will at some stage. Yeah, he's back in training. Like we know, Farke isn't going to rush him back. So Yeah, he'll be involved at some stage. It's good to have him back on the bench for me. You know, and Liam's now talking about Joseph and Perells might start together if James doesn't make the squad. This is what I would like to see more from Farke, and I'm sure Liam would as well, and more people in the comments. A little bit more versatility with the way that we're playing, the formation and stuff like this. I don't think to date he has ever tried a front two, or to my knowledge, or particularly to start off a game. Start with a front two. I believe your Perells, you will get the best out of him if if he has a partner. I believe he will. I believe he will. I mean, but then what would the rest of the team look like, Liam, if you're going two up top with Joseph and Perells? Because you've still got to play probably what you're going to go 4-4-2, are you? Or what's going to happen in terms of who's going to play behind them? Because, you know, I'm interested to hear that with the injuries that we have with James as well, and obviously Mr. Laji Ramazani, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah.
So what would be the makeup of the rest of the team? I'm interested to hear what you're saying.
But with Perells, George, you know, it would be good to see them start together. But Perells, for me, over the last couple of games, has been really off it for me. He has not been anywhere as good as he should be. Starting up front, I found him quite tired with Perells this year. You know, it's just not. I don't know. He's so hit and miss, isn't he, Joe Perells? You've got to agree with me on that one. I know you're a big Perells fan.
I am a big Perells fan, but I must admit, watching him on Saturday, I was getting tired just watching him, and I was just sitting there watching it. He looked so lethargic and like he'd eaten, and I don't want to, you know, whatever, but he did look like he'd eaten a few pies before he got on the pitch, and you know, as if he couldn't move properly, actually. Yeah. And I don't know, for me, he's not as agile. As soon as Joseph come on, I mean, Liam saying Joseph would go out on the wing, so what that would mean, you know, it line up with the one up front, which would be I don't think Perells can play, Aaron. I was really surprised to see him start on Saturday because I don't think he could play 3 games in a week. He just does not look very mobile at all. And the problem was on Saturday, we weren't getting balls in the box. So why the heck is he on the pitch? And I think there was, that was a week before, wasn't it? The game before, where he had an opportunity to kill the match and he didn't, and it ended up being a nervy win in the end. Who did we play before? Bristol? I can't remember now, but it was a 2-1 win, I think it was. Watford, that was it. Yes, and he had chances to win that game, and he just looked so complacent for me. Yeah, actually, I would, you know, I would like to see him drop. But to be honest with you, I would like to see more options other than Mateo Joseph on the bench. I mean, it's got to the point where we've just got 2 strikers. So what's, you know? I
don't know. Again, Joseph as well, you can see what he brings to the table, but I think he's got a bit of a selection headache up front with Perells and Joseph, hasn't he? You know, Daniel Farke at the moment, George. I don't know what the solution is, if I'm being honest.
No, I mean, I don't really, but I think...
Oh, here we go. Look at this. Where the hell have you heard this, sir? But it's fantastic. What are your thoughts on Bam Bam to Southampton in January? Listen, when I will personally drive the man down there. If that is odd, I'll happily drive him there to fail his medical down there. But will they take him? I have no idea. I don't know why.
No, I mean, why? You know, why would he go up a level when he's, you know,
he's not good enough.
When he's injured anyway. But look, I mean, I really don't know. Like I said last week, Bamford is just gone for me. I don't know what the heck he's doing. I mean,
he's far too busy with his podcast. You know, he's far too busy doing that. I don't think he will go down to Southampton, if I'm being honest. I really can't see that because I don't know why they would want it. There's other better, you know, players out there.
I mean, like Jimbo said, he needs a club based in the BBC. Well, that's either Man United or Man City, or maybe he could play for Salford in League, whatever there are 2 or whatever it is now.
It's on the rumour mill, which is fine, but you know, there's rumours. It's all out there, but. I don't know. I'll give us some petrol money towards the trip.
There you go.
You can get in the car with us. Me, George, and you will go down with Patrick Bamford in the back of the Golf.
That sounds a bit.
Get him back of the Golf, and we'll sing to him all the way down, and we'll probably have to drive him back when he fails the medical. But
that's true as well. To be fair, like you said, Jimbo, Stockport as well, although they might not even take him because they're quite on an upward trajectory, aren't they, at the moment? So. Yeah, I mean, Arthur was saying as well about Jack Harrison. There are rumours about him coming back, and obviously he's still on loan, so he will come back next season. So, you know, I don't know with Jack. I think it's been a real bad time for him, really, at Everton, and I don't think he's. To be honest with you, Aaron, I don't know whether he's good enough either for that team or for that level anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like Jack Harrison. I really do. I think he could come back and do a shift for us. But would he?
Yeah, I don't think. No, I don't think Jack will come back. I think that's just another silly rumor off a silly website, isn't it? But if it happened, it would be interesting. I did like Jack. He was there for a number of years, wasn't he? It was for about 5 years, wasn't he? And he did well. And it was disappointing, like Jimbo says, he can bugger off. But I don't know if he apologised for the way that he has been, and he came back like Aronson. And hungry for it and wanting to play for us because he's still contracted with us, like we know. Then fair enough. Particularly if we go up, he might be an option. He's played at the Premier League level now for what is it now? 5. This would be his 5th straight Premier League season. So that's fair enough if you ask me. He's now going into the realms of being an experienced Premier League player. So
Yeah, interesting. Okay, right, George, it's time for our second new feature of this podcast. It's time for this. Do you like my video, George? It's the Leeds United Trivia Challenge, where you've got to get 5 out of 5. And if you don't, you're not a proper fan. So, George, you are up against this first. So can you please confirm that your comments are turned them off? Have you turned them off, sir?
I don't know how you do that. How did you...
Just get a piece of paper and put them over the top there, like that. There we go.
Oh, I don't know. Yes.
Right, you've confirmed. Okay, so from next week and moving forwards, we'll do the Leeds United Trivia Challenge. We will put a poll up on X and you will get to select the category which we go for. So I've started off the category with the Leeds United Trivia Challenge. There's 5 questions based on the 2000 to 2001 season. So get involved in the comments as well. See if you can get 5 out of 5. We're going to get some guests on, George, for this as well. So you're going to be up against stats. You're going to be up against fans, Jimbo, Carl, whoever else is watching us. We're going to get lots of celebrity guests on.
Celebrity guests, wow. Who's going to come in? Russell Crowe or whatever?
I don't know. But this is the vision for it to go up there. So 5 questions based on the 2000 to 2001 Leeds United season. Are you ready, George?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Just a question from me before we start. Is this you giving me questions?
I'm going to give you the questions, and people in the comments can. Just me. It's not you.
Right.
Just me.
Okay. I wondered if we were doing like a to and fro,
No. Just me to you because that's how it works. Get involved in the comments as well with the answers if you want. George, you've confirmed that your comments is off. So question number 1, nice and easy to start you off, is who was the Leeds United manager during the 2000 to 2001 season?
See, I knew you were going to ask this one first in a sense, Aaron. I'm going to look really silly if I get it wrong, aren't I?
Well, you're not a proper fan if you don't get 5 out of 5.
But it was David O'Leary, wasn't it?
It was. Yes, I have. I'll need to get. That's what I'll do. I'll get like a little buzzer sound effect.
Yeah, why not? But no. David O'Leary was a great manager.
David O'Leary, he was. I loved him, and he was in the glory days there for us, wasn't he? Okay, question number 2 is in the 2000 to 2001 season. Leeds United reached the semi-finals of which major European competition?
The same Champions League.
It was the Champions League. Well done. 2 out of 2 so far, George. You're not doing too bad. Okay, this is a bit more trickier for you. So, which young Leeds United defender who later became an England international was a key player in the 2000 to 2001 season?
Was it? He was a young Leeds United player. He was a product of the academy.
He was a product of the academy. Yes.
Was it? It wasn't Woodgate, was it?
It was. Well done, sir. You're doing really well. 3 out of 3 so far. Jonathan Woodgate. Okay. Question 4. Who was Leeds United's top scorer in the 2000 to 2001 season across all competitions? Looking for all competitions here, not Premier League or European. I want all of them, please. Who was it?
My mind goes straight to Mr. Viduka.
He was Mr. Viduka. Well done. 4 out of 4. Right, and question 5. The final one of your Leeds United Trivia Challenge for this week is this. Against which Spanish team did Leeds United secure a famous 3-0 victory in the Champions League group stage?
It was Barcelona.
Oh, Georgie point. Let me listen again. Listen to the question again. Against which Spanish team did Leeds United secure a famous 3-0 victory in the Champions League group stage?
Was it Deportivo La Coruña?
It was. I'll give you that 5 out of 5.
Well, sort of.
Done, sir. You best guess the name wasn't right. But yes, it was Deportivo La Coruña. Well done to Wayne as well, who's got involved. He's got 3 correct answers there in the comments as well. You can put your comments back on now, George.
Yeah, no worries, Aaron. Yes, I mean that was relatively simple, really, but then it could have been. It could have been fairly difficult. It could have been.
It will get more difficult.
I was pretty sure it was Deportivo there, actually, but then my mind just went to Barcelona because I know we beat them as well. But I didn't know what that was in the. That must have been in the what's it stages, in the knockout stages. So it might have actually been in the group as well, possibly. And was that in the group? Anybody? Was that in a later stage? Thank you, Melly. I mean, if it's anything that I'm good at, it's Leeds United Trivia. If I'm not good at anything else, if I'm not good at anything, then it is probably Leeds United Trivia. But if you said stats is coming on, Aaron, then I've got...
Well, I don't know. I need to ask him first.
Well, I've got absolutely...
I've got missions for stats, Chris Miles, Russell Crowe.
You
some fans on to start. But there you go. So don't forget, when we do this next week, we'll put a poll out on X the day or two before, which we'll put some selections, different genre questions, and we'll go for it. But there you go, George. That was your Leeds United Trivia Challenge. Here comes the video again. There you go. Did you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun games, wasn't it? You know, if I got 5 right, then I got 5 right. That's fine. You know,
you're a proper fan, George, for this week. So you're on 5 points. If you want to keep your own tabs, you can do as well. Keep them on your tabs there, and we'll get them a bit more trickier next week. I'm going to think of some trickier questions for you.
But, you know, it was. I mean, as people would say, the questions are only easy if you know them, aren't they? So
absolutely. So a nice one to start it off. Okay, George, we've got Plymouth Argyle at the weekend. Let's do some predictions for this one. Plymouth Argyle at home. Wayne Rooney's granny lover, Plymouth. I think his wife's going on I'm a Celebrity. I don't know if you've heard that.
I did hear that, yeah.
That's quite funny. I think that'd be fantastic.
She's one of them. I think she's like the top target, isn't she, or the top signing that they want from it.
She's going to eat a camel's testicle live on ITV, and it's going to be fantastic.
Well, there you go. I mean, you see, and I'm going to get crucified for this, but I actually don't mind Wayne Rooney. The only thing that, you know, obviously he played for Man United, which is disappointing, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's a strange character, isn't he? And I hopefully that he you know, doesn't do well in any job he has, because, you know, and he just seems to like I said, he
Well,
does seem
he
to hit.
pretty much took Birmingham down, didn't he? Let's
Well,
be
he
honest.
did, yeah. He does seem to hit the self-destruct button for some reason, and players don't seem to respect him. I think this is different. I think the Plymouth players probably will. But no disrespect to them, but it's a lower quality of player, and I think they'll be like, wow, it's Wayne Rooney managing us, and I think they will disregard the sort of bad nature and record that he has, because he's a really poor manager, actually. And when Birmingham came to Ellen Road on New Year's Day, I'm sure you were probably there, Aaron. It was a really, really poor display from Birmingham. And I think it'll probably be similar for Plymouth past the opening sort of 10 minutes where they might feel like they've got a little bit of belief. But if we can break them early, like Liam says, 4-0, time to smash a team. I think it is. I agree with Liam. I think it is time at Ellen Road. There's no better opportunity than to play against Wayne Rooney and his poor Plymouth team. I think we will beat them. They are missing their captain, who Edwards, isn't he? He's a full-back, Edwards. They are also missing Sissoko, who does seem to be a little bit of a shining light for them this season so far. Obviously, Darko JB can't play on loan from ourselves. Jimbo was asking a bit for. I think Adam Forshaw probably will be playing, but again, he's not very good, really. And also, I'm sure hopefully their kit guys will have been able to spell his name right, because I remember last time I seen him on the telly playing for Plymouth, he didn't even have his name on the back of his shirt spelled correctly. So hopefully sort that out.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the table, George, and I know we really shouldn't start to look. We need to start looking at the table now, don't we? Because we're coming into November. 12 games played, 3 wins, 3 draws, 6 defeats, minus 9 goal diffs. That gives you points total of 12 on the same points as Cardiff, Stoke, and Coventry City, and they're just outside the relegation zone. I'm really surprised by Luton Town, by the way, who are down there in the bottom 3. I've lost 7 games this season so far. They're really struggling, but 12 points. Are they going to be relegation contenders, do you think, George, Plymouth this season?
Yes, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they probably overachieved last season. I don't know where they finished actually in the end last season.
It was mid-table one around. If I off the top of my head, I think about 19th or something like that, 18th, 19th.
I think they actually, in the end, they kind of pulled themselves up. Yeah, they finished. Yeah. Well, actually,
hang on.
They finished 21st. 21st.
That's
a point
right,
above relegation. So
yes.
No, they will probably get. That's quite a big tally for 51 points.
They were promoted, weren't they, last season, George? They aim for any promoted team other than they've got a massive record kind of points tally a couple of years ago.
Of course, it is. Staying up is a priority from coming up from League One. Obviously, Ipswich was a bit of a freak, and fair enough, but they'll definitely probably go down this time round as well. So, you know what I mean? They're obviously not ready for the Premier League. The bloody crap. So, you know what I mean? Well, they're rubbish. I don't even know if they'll win a game. You know what I mean? But they probably will win a game eventually. But I just don't see any way where Plymouth survive this season. Actually, I think they will go down.
Wow! Look at that! Wow!
Yeah, but I think Clive's only doing that because it's Rooney, and he probably hates Rooney, doesn't he? So, I'm guessing so. It's called him Pooney, but I don't know. I mean, even if it wasn't Rooney in charge, I think Leeds would do them quite comfortably, even with the injuries that we've got. Like I said, they've got absentees of real importance for them as well. Edwards, the captain, Sissoko, like I said, who's been a bit of a shining light for them so far. So he's on loan from Toulouse. I think we'll beat them. I know Jimbo's saying 1-0, but I think and Whittaker. The thing is, Whittaker was an issue the whole of last season. Apart from against us, he was really, really poor. And I suppose if that's their sort of option, isn't it? But whether they can get the ball up to him is another matter, isn't it, really?
Yeah. So he's the only real threat, isn't he?
Well, he is in a way. I mean, you've got to look through the squad here, Arron. And to be quite frank, it's poor. Really, it is poor. They've got Andre. To be fair, Andre Gray, he's 33 now, but he's still. I know he scored on Saturday. He might be a bit of a threat if you can get him going. Also, Obafemi as well, Michael Obafemi. I think he's on loan from Burnley there. On his day, he might be able to cause an issue, but I wouldn't have said so, really. I think Whittaker is definitely the main man. Obviously, Ryan Hardy might be occasionally on a bit of an issue for Leeds, but yeah, I don't see any way Leeds don't win this game. It might be closer than a lot of people expect, but I expect Leeds to at least put 2 past Plymouth, maybe more.
2-0, you're saying? Okay. I just wanted to... This has really made me tickle, this, George. Hope no one has empty windows for not answering the door whilst you've been online doing the pod. The solution, Jimbo, is just to leave these sweets outside, but I actually didn't leave them outside. So I'm going to go put them out after we've finished recording this.
I think the best option is, Aaron, just to not even open the door or answer the door at all. That's my tactic anyway. I won't get anybody anyway, but I won't be answering anyway. Okay. So
it's good to see Clive is back. Clive's saying Leeds have better players all over the pitch against Plymouth. Yet they completely do. It should be a cricket score against them. Leeds should absolutely bury them. Leave your lights off, says Clive. Jimbo says it's going to be 1-0. For them, Big Malice score in the first 10 minutes, then sit back for 80.
See, that's the only thing. We need to score early in this game. Score early, get the crowd up, because the crowd are, we're seeing the comments this week, and people are a little bit perplexed, a little bit frustrated about the result on Saturday against Bristol and the way that Leeds didn't break them down. So what we need to see is balls in behind, and I think we'll get that with Junior Firpo within the first few minutes. Maybe it won't result in a goal, but it'll result in a bit of tempo for us and Junior back in the team. I don't know who he'll be playing with. I imagine it might be Solomon on that left-hand side. But, I think Firpo just allows us that little bit more creativity in the attacks. And you saw that it was so missed on Saturday because he gets up and down and you can just find him, slip the ball through the middle, through their defence, onto Firpo. He gets in the box and he might flash across the box or something like that, or pull it back to somebody, or you know what I mean. So score early and tails get up, and hopefully they don't stop and we go on to bury them, like you said. But might be closer than a lot of people think, possibly. But
so go on then. What's your score prediction? Get your score predictions in the comments, guys. George, what's your score prediction then for Saturday against the mighty Wayne Rooney Granny Plymouth?
I think it's going to be 3-0 the Leeds. I think it might be a little bit trickier than people expect, but I think eventually we will hammer home the more quality advantage, and I think we'll beat them comfortably. Yeah.
Excellent. I think I completely agree, George. And do you know what? I'm going to go 5-1 this week against Plymouth, because I think Leeds they need to just show us. They really need to make a marker now, I think, in the league. But, I don't think 1-0, 2-0, 2-1s, says Carl. We never do anything easy. Solomon isn't fit. He should only be coming off the bench. He's not in there. But, says Liam, the Leeds have got to now really make a marker for me, because when you're up against teams like Plymouth at home, you should be destroying them. And when you're looking at the next 3 fixtures, yes, Bristol City was disappointing at the weekend, but we've got Millwall away on the 6th of November and then QPR at home on the 9th. We have to absolutely put a marker down and make teams really worry when they come up against us. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, and I think 9 points is the minimum. It's a must. 9 points out of those games. I mean, particularly the 2 home games against Plymouth and QPR. It's a chance to really hammer home and hammer in a few goals. What I really don't want to see from Leeds on Saturday and the next Saturday against QPR is sitting back and being a little bit
conservative.
What's the word? But also a little bit
patient.
Not patient. Patient's okay. Presuming that they're just going to win the game. So I don't want to see them being like, oh, we've got 90 minutes to win the game here. It's no urgency. We need to get a goal quickly. We need to keep going for them. Not sitting back after we've scored goals. Just go, and just beat them comfortably. And not just make it a nervy affair. Make it comfortable and not be too presumptuous that you're going to win the game and you've got 90 minutes to piss around with the ball and then score in the last few minutes. You know what I mean? Get the job done early and don't presume that you're going to win the game.
And then you can make changes, Mr. Fact.
Exactly.
You can start rotating your players around and you're thinking, 25 minutes up, if you're 4-0 up, you're not going to lose the game.
Exactly.
You can then really rotate. Because I think, as I say, the next 3 games, you want 9 points return. We need to have a 9-point return. We've dropped points against Bristol City already, but we need to be getting now, a really good, positive set of results, especially building up into the next international break in November.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's not forget we are 7 unbeaten as well, and I think then we have.
We are, but you're right. And to get promoted, you need to be going on these good little runs. If we're unbeaten in 7, let's make that unbeaten in 10 going into the next international break. Yeah,
well, it has to be, doesn't it? Because you've just gone through those 3 fixtures, and that I imagine would lead us into an international break, would it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so we need to win 9. We need to get 3 wins out of a row there, going into 10 unbeaten at the very least. I think we will be 10 unbeaten, whether that yields 3 wins or whatever it better do, because that's where we need to start turning the screw.
Well, then after that, George, towards the back end of November and then going into the December and Christmas period, you've got Swansea away, you've got Luton at home, Blackburn away, which I'm going to try and get tickets for the 7,000 up for.
Well, again, it's
Derby at home, Borough at home, Preston away, Oxford at home, and then you've got Stoke away on Boxing Day.
Yeah, well, that's it. And exactly that. You've got to look at those fixtures and say, hey, they're winnable fixtures. The only one there that you might think is maybe Middlesbrough at home. But even then, it's a home game, like I said earlier on. I fancy us at any Ellen Road against anybody in this division. And Liam's right. He doesn't like his teams. He's got too much respect for the opposition, I think, as Daniel Farke. It really frustrates the hell out of me because
I do think we do go to destroy opponents, George. I think we do that.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I don't think they do at all.
They do attack. They don't just sit back and defend once they're 2-0 up.
They do. They do. They do. Even if we're like 3 or 4-0 up, you'll see them drop off.
But anybody would. You would. I would. Any professional football does exactly the same.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
A goal difference. As a fan, yes, you want to see a cricket score. Of course, it would be good, and it'd be great to get a cricket score against Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. But ultimately, is it? Are we going to be disappointed if we win 1-0? Fair enough. That's absolutely fine. So we get the 3 points. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it's 1-0, it's 1-0. But it's just in terms of the game, isn't it? If it ends 1-0, yeah, great, we've won, it's fine. But it's stress. It's stress in the game.
Stress.
You're watching it thinking, gosh, we need to put these to bed. And what if they get a free kick or a set piece and they score? That happened a few times last season. So that's what I mean. Leeds can't presume they're going to win the game because they might not. So you've got to go front foot early on, get the job done, and then, yeah, okay, you can drop off. But get the job done. Don't, like I said, don't piss around with the ball, pass back, pass sideways, packing back to Tanaka, back to the goalkeeper, then pass it sideways. Don't do that for 80 minutes and then think, oh, heck, we've got to step on it now and win the game, because then they won't. Yeah. So they need to be proactive. And this is what I always scream at the bloody telly. Be proactive instead of reactive in terms of Farke. Be proactive and start making subs. If it's not going your way, why wait till the 65th, 70th minute before you're making a sub? Go and make it right. But I do think, I'm going to look silly if we lose this game, but I don't see a way where Leeds United lose this match. I really, really don't.
Good stuff. So, George, just again, your prediction was
3-0 to Leeds.
3-0 Leeds. I'm going 5-1.
If you're going to go with who's going to score, Big Marley, I reckon it'll be Joseph. Actually, no, I hope it's not Joseph first, because that would probably mean that we're waiting until the second half to score. I think it might be Aronson. I think Nonto, and I think maybe Perells might get one as well.
Good stuff.
I do. Well, obviously, we all fear that kind of performance. Like, this is what I mean, Clive, when against Watford, where you thought, bam, 2-0 up within a few minutes. Just keep going. Why drop off? Why expect that you're going to win the game and relax? Don't do it. Keep going at them. If we find ourselves 2-0 up on Saturday, don't just relax. Go at them, because the third goal will completely do it.
Excellent. Well, let's hope, George, that Leeds United do that. And if Daniel Fark needs a message to play to the players, he just needs to play the last 10 minutes of this podcast.
Well, if he wants me to come in and give him a team talk, I will. Give me a call, Daniel. I'm here if you want.
Even
if it's just a Zoom call, you know what I mean? Just get me on there,
Get in the team meetings. George, thank you so much. So hopefully it will be a treat for Leeds United this week with 3 points. Don't forget as well, do give us a like on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is growing. Please do give us a like and a share. We're not going to tell you to and hammer it like share, or subscribe. It's completely up to you, but it's nice if you do. And as well, thank you to everybody who listens to this as well on the recordings, on the podcasts. You can catch all that as well on catch up. It's be available tomorrow. So you probably listen to this today if you're watching it tomorrow on your podcasts. And I'll be back with Jerry doing a match reaction. So thank you so much for the lovely comments. Happy Halloween, everybody. Watch out for the trick-or-treaters and those ghostly ghouls. And we will see you. Are you ready for the next? We've got a video, George, to close us out. We'll see you next week, guys.
You can tell it's half term, can't you? See you next week.
See you. Why has it not ended? And now